Today, we're going to talk about the ninth sign of the end of this whole transition and going into something completely new. The Hopi blue star, the ninth sign. Now, I'm going to explain what the other eight are, what nine is, what does the blue star mean, and most important, what happens after the blue star appears, and what do the Hopi see happening because they've been correct on all eight other signs. Let's talk about the Hopi blue star, the ninth sign, and it's happening now. I think you're going to love this. Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube. I'm here to help you break through fear and live an amazing life. When do you start to believe that you are creating our future? When do you understand that that thought you're having, that fear that you have at 3 a.m. is creating the future by moving you, shifting you into a timeline? This seems like science fiction, but it's not. It's quantum physics. Your focus creates. The Hopi blue star. We're going to talk about that today because the Hopi saw a transition of humanity coming to a critical turning point, and it's right now. We've hit all eight, and we're going into what they call the fifth race. Like Edgar Cayce called the fifth root race is when we go into a spiritual, heightened state of consciousness, and I see it happening with you. Don't give up, my friend. Welcome. We move past fear because fear is a low frequency, and I'm encouraging you to stop the fear because you're eternal and you're perfect, and we can go into this fifth dimension. What does that mean? We're more expansive. We're less dense in the 3D. We have the capabilities to access these powers out here in that fifth root race. What does that mean? Miracles. That won't be miracles. It'll just be everyday stuff that we can do, right? We call it miracles because they don't happen very often. And we're like shocked. Yeah, oh my gosh. When that's really the essence of you. Abundance. Everyone can achieve abundance. And you will know that when you go into that fifth root race, you will see others differently. Pure, other light beings as part of you because we are one consciousness. So the Hopi blue star is arguably the most famous and debated indigenous prophecy of our time. It centers on the transition from the fourth world, our current era, to the fifth world, an era of peace and harmony. Edgar Cayce's fifth root race was also an era of peace and harmony. How can they know one another? I know that Edgar Cayce didn't study the Hopi. He may have known about it. He was out there in the Akashic records, but the same theme keeps showing up. So according to the Hopi tradition, the transition is marked by 9 signs. The first 8 are widely believed by followers to have already occurred. I'm going to go through all of them, leaving only the 9th. Right now, the 9 signs were first brought to the public's attention in 1958 by a Hopi elder named White Feather of the Bear Clan. Oh, I love bears and I love white feathers. I've got some over here. He shared them with a traveler named David Young, explaining that these signs would occur sequentially, proving that the fourth world, our current age, was ending and the day of purification was near. Purification. And we don't want to go through upheaval or like, okay, let's just go into that. It came here to learn. These challenges will show you who you are. Let go of the resentment. Let go of the blame. Let go of the criticisms. It is all meant for you to become greater, the greatness that you already are, and to shed the veils. So here are the 9 signs as described by White Feather, 1 through 4. These represent the arrival and expansion of European settlers across North America. The white-skinned men, the arrival of people who took land that was not theirs and struck their enemies with thunder. Guns. We didn't start off on a good foot here, and it has continued. Spinning wheels with voices, the coming of pioneers in covered wagons, the whirring of the wheels, or as some modern elders suggest, the arrival of recorded music media, okay? You can interpret that a couple different ways. Once again, watch your interpretations of things. It's especially difficult with Nostradamus, whose quatrains are very impossible to interpret. The long-horned beasts, the introduction of cattle, which overran the land in large numbers, displacing the buffalo. Not to mention that the white men were taking out the buffalo. Snakes of iron, that's the construction of the transcontinental railroads that crisscrossed the land. The modern industrial signs, signs 5 through 8, these signs describe the technology and social shifts of the 20th and early 21st centuries, the giant spider web. Oh, here we go. Telegraph, telephone, World Wide Web. Yeah. 6, rivers of stone, the building of the interstate highway systems, the sea turning black, historically linked to the massive oil spills where the black blood of the earth kills marine life. Oh, that's so sad. 8, the long-haired youth, the rise of the countercultural movement, hippies in the 1960s and 70s, who came to indigenous people to learn their ways and wisdom. That wasn't a bad thing. The final sign, sign 9. This is a sign that specifically triggers the arrival of the blue star, the falling dwelling place. You will hear of a dwelling place in the heavens above the earth that shall fall with a great crash. It will appear as a blue star. Very soon after this, the ceremonies of my people will cease. What? Okay, we got to go into this. When it crashes and the blue star appears, several things follow immediately. The mask is removed, symbolizing that the secrets are over and the truth is revealed to all. Oh, okay, now this is making sense. The mask is removed. All is revealed. The world rocks. The earth will rock to and fro. Geophysical instability or a pole shift. The purifier arrives. Remember, this is the 9th one. These things haven't happened yet. Shortly after the blue star, the red star Kachina, the purifier, arrives to cleanse the world of those who have lived out of balance. Oopsie. Hey, so we're going to talk about Chris Bledsoe. He says the red star Regulus, which is actually a blue star, is going to appear red. It sounds a lot like the blue star, and then the red star Kachina arrives to cleanse the world of those who've lived out of balance. This is sounding a lot like each other, right? The blue star will appear as a red star, is what Chris Bledsoe says, and a new era, the divine era, will begin. A new knowledge will be introduced. Now, he's talked about March 15th through 20th, something's going to happen that might be visible to the world. He's not sure of dates. Again, none of these guys can be sure of dates. He said this. He usually sees the woman in light who shares all this with him. She usually appears in April that tells him all these things that are going to happen. But the blue star Regulus, supposedly there's going to be something in October 7th. Overall, we're looking at a lot of activity here in 2026. We're now in March 2026, and many look to the aging International Space Station or the upcoming blaze star Nova as the potential fulfillment of this final 9th sign, something crashing to the Earth. Ooh, this is going to be interesting because this is quite specific. So let's look at this again. You will hear of a dwelling place in the heavens above the earth that shall fall with a great crash. Wow. It will appear as a blue star. Very soon after this, the ceremonies my people will cease. So when the mask is removed by the spiritual messenger around this time, the end of all Hopi ceremonies and the beginning of the day of purification begins. It doesn't mean the end of the Hopi. So let's talk about the modern day interpretation of this crash, this thing. So because the dwelling place in the heavens is often interpreted as a man-made object, modern observers frequently look to the skies for candidates. ISS, International Space Station. They think that the dwelling place refers to the space station with the schedule for deorbit and a crash into the oceans in the early 2030s. Many believe this fits the timeline for the Great Crash. It's destined for that. That is planned. Comets and supernova. We keep hearing about this sun getting bigger. We talked about solar flares. Hey guys, we're in March now. And so there are predictions, and I did a couple videos on this, that something big with the sun is going to happen in March. We'll see. That's when a prediction was made by the new Nostradamus and Chris Bledsoe. A lot going on in March, right? Oops, it's March 1st. Some look for literal blue stars in the late 2025 and 26. Various comets, we saw that happening, are often monitored by enthusiasts to see if they take on a bright blue hue as they approach the sun. Well, we just had our Atlas comet go by. I don't think it had a blue hue. It did have a trail going past it. We can make anything fit if we want to. I'm sticking with the actual blue star, which Chris Bledsoe said was Regulus. I'm going to talk about that coming up here. But let's talk about Regulus. It's one of the most significant stars in the sky. And Chris Bledsoe actually said Regulus because this lady in light told him the name of the star. All right, she said it would appear red. The red star Regulus will appear at dawn at the foot of the Sphinx, and something amazing would happen. That's pretty specific. So we're going to cover that in a minute. So Regulus, its connection to the Hopi blue star, it's a topic of intense discussion with astronomers and researchers of prophecy, especially in 2026. Supposedly this is going to happen. Is Regulus the blue star? Scientifically, Regulus is a blue-white subgiant star. It is the brightest star in the constellation, Leo, the lion's heart, and is distinct for its brilliant bluish hue. It looks very much like this could be it. We're talking about when it's going to appear. While the Hopi prophecy is often interpreted as referring to a new star, like a supernova or a falling space station, many people link it to Regulus for several symbolic reasons. The royal star, Regulus, is one of the four royal stars of ancient Persia. It's always been associated with kingship, power, and major shifts in world leadership. I believe that's going to happen. All right? How? I don't know. A lot of predictions out there. People can make predictions all they want, but this is a moving timeline. Why Regulus is critical in 2026. We're currently in a very active window for Regulus. Several key events this year make it a candidate for the blue star, signaling the end of the fourth world. That's what it's signaling. When we go into the fifth, guess what happens? We're going to see a lot of upheaval because that world is going to fight to keep its power. It's going to try and get us off of all the things that is happening. All the sludge is going to the top. It's going to try and put our attention someplace else. Squirrel, sparkle, right? Frequent lunar occultations. There are 20 occultations of Regulus occurring between July 25th and December 26th. This blinking of the blue star is seen by some as the dance described in Hopi tradition. March 2026 events. Just this month, there are multiple conjunctions where the moon and Regulus appear extremely close. On March 29th, this is right in that pocket of Chris Bledsoe, a major occultation will be visible across parts of the world where the blue star will disappear behind the moon, then dramatically reappear. It'll be noticeable. If Regulus, the heart, undergoes a dramatic change or is part of a rare alignment, like the sixth planet alignment in February 2026, I told you it was the month of miracles, it fits the prophetic theme of a royal transition. One fascinating fact about Regulus that aligns with the idea of a world out of balance is its shape. Regulus spins so fast, every 16 hours, that it's not a sphere. It's shaped like an oblong egg. So based on current astronomical data for March 2026, we're in the middle of a rare occultation season for Regulus. Chris Bledsoe's prediction, based on this lady that appears to him, stated that when the red star of Regulus aligns just before dawn in the gaze of the Sphinx, a new knowledge shall come into the world. The red star, while Regulus is blue star, Bledsoe notes it will appear red during this event. Now we're going to talk about the Hopi red star. That is going to kick off something else in this fifth race. The Great Sphinx of Giza faces due east. The prophecy suggests that at a specific moment, Regulus will rise directly in the Sphinx line of sight just before the sun comes up. The outcome, Bledsoe emphasizes, this is not an apocalypse in the sense of destruction, but a revelation, the original meaning of the word. It marks the end of an old way of being and the beginning of a new knowledge for humanity. Now, I just want you to know Chris Bledsoe did see some pretty bad stuff happening. and it has to do with the Middle East. We are at the precipice of some things, and whatever decisions are made are critical at this point. Will we change it? We will see, and it's going to happen this year, very soon. So, no matter what those decisions are made by lower frequencies, those who choose to go into war, I want you to know to hold fast even stronger to your faith and your light. This is what will change the world. Bledsoe said this message suggests this event will be visible to everyone and cannot be hidden by world leaders. He describes it as the return of the divine feminine and a shift toward a more heart-based consciousness. You know, it's interesting, the U.S. Space Force and National Space Intelligence Center, they use the Sphinx and a bright star, often identified as Regulus, in their official patches, which some interpret as an acknowledgement of this specific celestial importance. Let's talk about the Hopi Purifier Red Star. Hopi elders such as the late White Feather warn that the blue star is only the harbinger. Shortly after its appearance, the red Kachina, the purifier, will arrive. This is in alignment with what Bledsoe said. This figure is described as bringing a great command that sets the forces of nature in motion. It is not viewed as the end of the world, but as a recalibration. Same message. Let's relax about that. The Hopi used a word that I cannot pronounce, means world out of balance. It describes our current state, and the purifier's role is to return the world to Pahana, balance. What are the characteristics of Pahana? Unlike the white-skinned men who arrived centuries ago, the first sign of the world's end, the true Pahana is identified by several traits. The sacred tablet. He is said to bring back a missing piece of a stone tablet that matches one held by the Hopi fire clan. So this is a person. The red symbol. He will wear a specific red cap or a cloak, red cloak, and his symbol is the rising sun. The power of truth. He does not bring a religion or a political party. He brings a humble heart and the power to expose those who have lived in greed and deception. The identification, he will not be a ruler in the Western sense. He will be a helper who recognizes the Hopi way of life as the correct way to live in balance with the earth. What did Jean Dixon say in my last video? She talked about this bringer. We talk about the young genius, this Antichrist, this new way. This can go either way. Is this a good? Is it bad? Is it deception? I believe it's good. I think we will easily recognize it, provided that it brings community together, not creates someone we worship. What's the timeline of his arrival? Pahana will appear shortly after the blue star. Kachina, the ninth sign, removes his mask. The great purifier. In many versions of the story, the Pahana arrives with or as the red Kachina, the purifier. The global reset, his arrival marks the moment when the wicked are separated from the righteous, the split earth. This is often interpreted as a global shift in consciousness where systems built on exploitation naturally collapse, while those living simply and sustainably the Hopi way thrive. We must live the Hopi way. So we talk about this false prophet versus the true prophet that will show up, that will change things. The Hopi elders caution that there would be a false Pahanas before the true one arrives. So here we go, same thing. We have to be concerned about this bringer of great gifts and unity who's false. These figures would claim to be saviors, but would actually lead people further into life out of balance. The true test, according to the elders, is simplicity. The true Pahana will not ask for money, fame, or worship. This great person, he will simply point people back to the land and the original instructions given at the beginning of time. Here's a quote from the elders. There is a river flowing now very fast. It is so great and swift that there are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. The elders say we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river, keep our eyes open and our heads above the water. Let go, let go, let it go, and flow with it. So what is this Fire Clan tablet? We're going to go more into this. I'm going to do another video. The Fire Clan tablets, a small dark stone with a missing corner. Its symbols are said to act as a decoder for the end of the fourth world. And we're going to study more tablets. Maybe we'll go into the emerald tablets. I'm going to study a little bit of this ancient predictions and these wonderful statements that are so obvious that, first of all, we're here for this. This is why these predictions are out. It is the story that we're playing out, and we're at the critical point of what we'll do. The whole point of the prophecy is all these things will happen. They will challenge, 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 and then we'll all get to a point where we have to make a decision. The choice point. I just did a video on the choice point. Go watch it. What is it? There are endless choice points, and you get to choose personally because everyone contributes to the collective and the knowledge of the one source. Whatever you do, you can't make a mistake. But if you choose the higher choice, the higher frequency, the penthouse, you personally will experience something amazing and beautiful. It's not going to be without its challenges. All right? You came here for that. Just prepare for that and say, they don't have to be traumatic. You don't have to struggle anymore. You don't have to fear. When do you let go of blame or see the negative in somebody? And when do you see them as your best teachers? You signed up with them. They are not some lower frequency that has no clue. They agreed to be a lower frequency because they were taught by unloving or fearful people who were taught by unloving and fearful people. And you are meant to break the chain. We're going to talk more about this, but March is looking like a very important time period. If nothing happens, well, once again, these people can't predict dates, but we can. We can create them. What will happen in March for you? Will you make a higher decision? Will you change what you're doing in your life that could possibly harm another person, harm yourself, your relationship, our planet especially? It is time to live the Hopi way. Again, I hope you'll subscribe. Read my book if you haven't. I speak of these times. I got a download. I was writing this thing all crazy hours because I was told it had to come out now. And that was over a year ago. Also, those of you who are interested in the Conscious Creator Vault, I'm creating a membership where every 30 days I teach you soul alignment, sustainability, and conscious contribution, how you earn. And I'm going to show you different ways you can do it that are contributing to the planet and you going into passion because you're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. We're going to continue the talk about the Hopi way, the tablets, and this unknown person. Hasn't happened yet. I don't know. Let's see. We'll discuss it more. Namaste.